Now, on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, police have identified the women in a major theft Monday in Palacios and need your help to find them. And the new details about the murder trial of the man accused in Amanda Johnson's death. And happening across the nation this morning, consumers will see a major hike in menu pricing at a popular fast food giant. We'll tell you what the CEO says about the new changes coming to the company.
And we've got one more day of cooler weather before that warm comes right back after that cold front comes this morning. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
The Titans and Warriors battling it out on the soccer pitch last night, and we came into yesterday, two teams alive on the hardwood, only one moving on. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 28th day of February 2024. The time is now 6:31 on our Wednesday morning, and it's National Essay Day.
Essay Day, that's a pretty important day. I know a lot of us are still in school and they've got some essays to do.
That's right.
You know, I was never a big fan of essays. I do like writing. It's hard to get all the words from your brain onto paper.
Essay writing can be a challenge because there's a lot of repetition involved, which I don't really like to do with news writing.
Yeah,
because news writing's totally different.
I was gonna say sometimes you don't want that repetition because then it's,
Right, you want all that space.
Absolutely.
All right, it is a beautiful art, beautiful medium, essay writing, for those that excel at that.
That's good.
So Parker, what is your essay prompt if you're writing about the weather today?
Well, actually, technically, you could say my essay prompt is my weather headlines, which is coming up in just a little bit. We'll take a look at that in just a second, because right now, if you're all tuning in with us this morning, folks, you're looking live in Victoria, well, we have a cold front coming our way, probably in the next couple hours. We'll take a look at that radar, because right now, it's not here yet, and it's still warm, and also very humid. 69 degrees here in Victoria, but with your dew point 2 degrees off that temperature, you've got a 93% humidity, bringing in, at least this computer's saying 4 miles, but let's take a look at what this one's saying. This one's saying 3 3/4 mile visibility here in Victoria at Gonzales. Y'all are at 0, half-mile visibility at Nixes. Ooh, a 1/4 mile in Beeville. Let's see here, we got any other real bad ones? That's not looking the greatest out there this morning, folks, especially those western counties. Y'all might see a little bit of the thicker fog, but it looks like the National Weather Service, actually, this was just the light gray. This was all a special weather statement, but it looks like now the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for including in Beeville. But here in Victoria, we still have a special weather statement for a little bit of light fog. But the good news is that fog will be out of our area after that front passes between 8 to 9 a.m. Now, like I said, looking at your weather headlines here, here's your headlines for the week. Windy today, gusts near 40 miles an hour after that front passes, especially in the morning. Whoops, with one more chilly day coming our way tomorrow after that front passes, but also the warmth returns this weekend when the southerly winds return. And we'll take a look at all that and more in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Police have identified the women in a major theft Monday in Palacios, but they need your help in tracking them down this morning. 25 News Now obtained this video from Porter's Ace Hardware store of the women in action. Look at them. They're going to take some stuff off the shelf here. Yep, right there. It was taken around 3:30 that afternoon. The store owner says the theft took no longer than 3 minutes, and the women got away with $1,800 worth of tools. The woman left the scene in a white SUV or van. And if you have any information on this theft, you're urged to call the police at the number on your screen. 25 News Now has learned new details about the murder trial of the man accused in Amanda Johnson's death. We told you yesterday the court reset his pre-trial hearing for March 21st. That has changed. March 21st will now serve as the trial management hearing. The court has not set a date for the pretrial as of yet, and as of now, the trial is scheduled to get underway May 13th, but that could change. 25 News Now should know more after the trial management hearing next month. Fernando Acosta Jr. is accused in the murder of Amanda Johnson. He's charged with tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and murder. 2 suspects were arrested after a state investigation into a Bay City nursing home. The Bay City Tribune reports the administrator of Colonial Living and Rehabilitation of Bay City, 37-year-old Cassidy Jones of Katy was charged with the tampering of a government record, and 47-year-old Michael McLeod, a former resident of the facility, was charged with injury to the elderly or disabled and aggravated sexual assault of an elderly or person with disabilities. McLeod is in the Matagorda County Jail in lieu of a $100,000 bond, and Jones is in jail in lieu of a $30,000 bond. A mother inspired her daughter to give 50 gallons of blood in Victoria. Now her grandson gives blood as well. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick spoke with the family about the joy of giving. The family doesn't like the word hero, but they've saved more than 1,000 lives by donating blood.
I think it's just part of being a member of a community is in whatever way you can enrich the community, it's your responsibility. And one of those ways for me is blood donation.
Carol Talley started donating blood on her 17th birthday. Her biggest inspiration for giving all these years was her mother.
It's what you do that people react to because they see the earnestness and the sincerity of it. You're not just a bag of wind telling them to do this. You actually pursue what you say.
Georgia was diagnosed with cancer in 1993. At the time, she could not donate, so Carol felt like she had to give even more blood.
I think I felt the need to donate even more intensely because I felt like I had to take her place.
Georgia says receiving help made her realize the importance of giving as well.
When I was diagnosed with cancer, it was the first experience that brought it home to me. But you see the benefit that the other giver is giving to you.
Since then, Carol's 50 gallons of blood have helped about 1,200 people. She's also inspired her son to join in on the life-saving effort.
It started out with my mom doing it, and then I was going for the red cord for graduation. That's what kind of helped keep me coming back.
Weston's red cord came from donating a gallon of blood during his last 2 years of high school. The family left this advice to the community.
Just donate. It really helps, and you will save a life, and you will feel good about yourself.
Carol Talley hit 50 gallons recently. Now she's working towards 75 gallons, and her son says he'll be right by her side. Wendy's CEO says the popular fast food chain will begin testing surge pricing by next year. That means prices from the menu could change depending on time, location, and demand. Earlier this month, the CEO, Kirk Tanner, told investors of the plan, which is part of a more extensive overhaul expected to begin in 2025. The company will spend $20 million to roll out digital menu boards to all U.S. company-owned restaurants by the end of the year. Surge pricing is not new to consumers, but it remains to be seen if people will balk at its use at a fast food restaurant. Macy's says it will close 150 stores nationwide in a move that's part of the retailer's Bold New Chapter initiative, which aims to put a greater focus on luxury sales. In a new release Tuesday, Macy's says it is shuttering unproductive locations, including approximately 50 by the end of the fiscal year. The closures will leave approximately 350 locations, including small format stores, still in operation. The locations of the 150 closures were not immediately available. A spokesperson didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Intuitive Machines has released several photos of its lunar lander as it approached and landed on the moon's surface. The cargo lander, called Odysseus, touched down 5 days ago, marking the return to the lunar surface for the U.S. since the Apollo missions. Controllers have been receiving data from the craft since its arrival at its South Pole landing site, an area believed to be rich with resources including frozen water. However, officials have said they believe the craft tipped over after landing, but is still sending data and will continue to do so until the solar panels are no longer exposed to the light. All right, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:40 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The number of stray dogs continues to rise in the city. of Victoria.
I'm ABC's Perry Russum in Washington. Tens of thousands of people in Michigan casting a protest vote against President Biden. That story coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, take another look at that cold front that's coming our way this morning. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If y'all are tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero, where you can see that fog is starting to pick up just a little bit up there in Cuero with that cloud cover as well, all before that cold front coming our way in just a couple hours. But looking at your temperatures right now, we're all experiencing a nice morning, nice and humid. That is 67 up there in Cuero, but with your dew point matching that temperature, you got 100% humidity, bringing you this, probably I'd say I might agree with this now, saying a 1 mile visibility over there in Cuero. So please be careful, because some of us might see a little bit of fog out there this morning. But the good news is it'll be out of our area by as soon as that front comes through, between 8 to 9. But if you're sending your kiddos out the door, it's going to be just like it is right now, about 69, mostly cloudy and humid. But we're not even going to warm up today. After that front rolls through, it's going to be very windy with a north wind cooling us to only 67 this afternoon. And with that breezy wind today, gusting up to 40 miles an hour at times, we're going to have tree pollen is going to be high and your grass pollen is going to be moderate today. So it might be a good idea to take an allergy pill for today. But after that front rolls through, we're back to the 50s, and then we warm right back to the 80s later this week. And we'll take a look at that more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Now to the Michigan primary. Both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump cruising to victory. Biden getting at least 80% of the vote, even as he faced a protest vote for his handling of the war in Gaza.
Protest vote fallout in Michigan.
A vote uncommitted was a humanitarian vote.
Tens of thousands of people voting uncommitted in the Democratic primary, sending a message to President Biden over his handling of the war in Gaza.
I don't think the Democrats take us seriously, and they're gonna have to start if they plan to win in November.
Michigan is home to the largest community of Arab Americans in the country.
It's very well known that we support a ceasefire.
In Gaza, refugees are struggling to survive. The UN says more than 500,000 people are one step away from famine. This man says getting food, water, and medicine is an extreme challenge. President Biden says he's hoping for a ceasefire by Monday.
We are trying to push this deal over the finish line. We do think it's possible.
The president also facing pressure at home to avoid a government shutdown.
The shutdown would damage the economy significantly.
Biden is calling for bipartisan solutions. Lawmakers have until the end of this week to get a deal done.
We have been working in good faith around the clock every single day for months and weeks and over the last several days, quite literally around the clock, to get that job done. We're very optimistic.
Back to the primary in Michigan. On the Republican side, former President Trump again crushing Nikki Haley. She has promised to stay in this race through Super Tuesday, which is next week. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
The number of stray dogs continues to increase within the city of Victoria. That means more animals are at the Victoria Animal Care Shelter. Mark Sloat, director of the shelter, says from 2014 to the end of 2023, almost the span of 10 years, the shelter took in over 15,000 dogs and had to euthanize over 7,700 dogs. Sloat recommends keeping your dog inside a fenced yard inside your home or on a proper leash.
A dog, children playing, another dog running by, somebody on a bicycle, maybe a car, those are all distractions that can draw the dog away from your house. Plus, an animal that's not neutered or spayed, they have that drive to reproduce, and that can make them wander in their own, just because of that.
Remember, it's against the law in the city of Victoria to have your dog running loose away from your home. It's also best to have your dog spayed or neutered. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, should there be a city ordinance requiring residents to spay or neuter their pets? Okay, let's take a look. 57% of you say yes, and 43% of you say no. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. The time is now 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come, a major streaming platform has a new venture in the entertainment industry. Okay, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Savannah. Hope you have a great day. Love you lots from your Aunt Gina and family.
And actor Kingsley Ben-Adir with a birthday today. The star of the top grossing film in the U.S. right now, Bob Marley, One Love. He's 38 today. Happy birthday, Kingsley.
He's older than I thought he was.
Interesting.
He's got good skin.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to Jalen, who turns 18 today. Happy birthday, Jalen.
Happy birthday, Jalen. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More, and under Home, you see KBU to submit your birthday.
All right, the time is now 6:47 on our Wednesday morning. I remembered the name of that series that Kingsley was in.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Secret Invasion.
Oh, Secret Invasion.
He plays a Skrull.
Ah.
All right, well, happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
Yes, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I hope y'all have been loving all the warm weather we had all last week and the last couple days, because that's all going to change for the next couple days because we have a cold front coming our way within the next hour and a half or so. But looking at yesterday's weather, we had a warm 82 degrees, started out at a warm 67, and we're just about the same right now. All of us near 70, but that's about to change, like I said, because we got that cold front coming our way. In fact, you can actually see it right here on the radar, right there, just a little real thin line, probably coming through Hallettsville right about now if we draw a line, imaginary line across that. But if you look at this one, you can see all the dust and stuff that's being picked up on this radar, and I got the timing here, probably coming through Karnes City and the next right around 7:23, I might say 7:30 on the timing there, and then probably coming through Victoria right around 8 a.m. and it's going to be windy when it comes through and also dry. Dew points right now this morning, very humid in the 60s, upper 60s, but when that comes through right around 8, 9, like I said, dropping our dew points into the 30s, and 20 is going to be dry and also windy for the next couple days. But we'll take a look at all that more in just a few moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Netflix has a new venture in the entertainment industry. The streaming giant is co-producing a Broadway play and developing a screen adaptation. The new play is called Patriots, and it's written by Peter Morgan, who created the series The Crown. It's about Vladimir Putin's Russia and a Russian oligarch. The production stars Michael Stuhlbarg and Will Keane. Netflix is also in the early stages of developing the screen adaptation of the story. Patriots opens on Broadway in April at the Ethel Barrymore Theater in New York City. Some Adele ticket holders will have to change their plans. The singer announced on Instagram she's postponing upcoming dates of her residency in Las Vegas. Adele says it's due to sickness and doctor's orders. The postponed concerts were supposed to take place at Caesars Palace every weekend through March 30th. Adele started her Weekends with Adele Las Vegas show back in 2022. The series is currently slated to go through June 15th. Anyone with a ticket to one of the delayed shows will be sent information on rescheduled dates when the information is available. Wow, it would be quite a treat to see Adele. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Emergency responders in Florida say 2 planes collided on an Orlando runway Tuesday. All right, emergency responders in Florida say 2 planes collided on an Orlando runway Tuesday. The Seminole County Fire Department says an unoccupied plane was hit by a landing plane with 3 people on board at Orlando Sanford International Airport. Airport leaders say the single-engine planes involved were from a training facility. They say one of the small planes hit the unoccupied plane after it landed short. One of the 3 people on board the landing plane was taken to a hospital as a precaution. The runway closed for hours so it could be inspected for safety. The airport says the NTSB and the FAA are investigating. Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 60 counties on Tuesday. This comes as wildfires are threatening Panhandle towns and forcing residents to evacuate. According to the Texas A&M Forest Service, the Smokehouse Creek fire has burned more than 250,000 acres of land since Monday. Governor Abbott also activated additional state emergency resources to support firefighters responding to multiple wildfires. Tuesday, the evacuation orders were issued for parts of the Hemphill and Roberts counties, including the town of Canadian. Lawmakers may have a solution to avoid a partial government shutdown Friday. House Speaker Mike Johnson's office says he's now open to a continuing resolution. The plan has 2 stages. The 4 government agencies that could close after Friday would get another week of funding. They include the Departments of Transportation, Veteran Affairs, Agriculture, and Housing and Urban Development. The funding deadline for everything else would be March 22nd. This is the first day the House can vote on spending legislation since representatives are back from a recess. Early voting in Victoria for the March 5th primary election continued yesterday. The numbers from the county election administrator look like this. 459 people voted in person yesterday. 2,460 total votes cast so far. No mail-in votes received yesterday, and a total of 871 mail-in votes received so far. Early voting in the primary election continues through Friday. You can vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. all days. You can vote at the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center. That's at 2805 North Navarro. Today, Crestwood Drive will close between Navarro Street and Main Street from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. for paving operations. All businesses and homes in the construction zone will remain accessible, and it's all part of the Crestwood Drive Phase 3 reconstruction project. A federal court in Lubbock ruled Tuesday that proxy voting in Congress doesn't count toward a quorum, weakening a law to protect pregnant workers that was passed with proxy votes. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crosswordstoday.com. We want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crosswords Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crosswords Today Plus. And we do have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker. Parker, has some of that fog burned off yet?
Not just yet, Carolyn. In fact, you're looking live here in Port Lavaca where they're still seeing just a little bit of real light fog out there this morning. 72 though, right on the coast. But like I said, that 2.3 degrees off, making it a little bit humid out there, and it's enough for a little bit of fog. Look at your visibility right now. We've got a 0 up there in Gonzales, but I expect that to change probably the next 20 minutes or so because the cold front just passed through. And yes, you heard me correctly, folks. We got a cold front coming through right about now, the next hour or so. Right now, all of us in the near 70, but you can look at the radar, you can see right where that front is, coming right through. Actually, you can't see it anymore, but probably coming right through Cuero in the next 10 minutes or so, bringing you some real chilly weather for today and tomorrow, and also some windy conditions. Probably gonna come through Victoria right between 8 to 9, bringing windy conditions right gusting around 40 miles an hour today. But after that front comes through, we're going to be dropping to the 50s tomorrow, and then after that southerly flow returns later this week, we are right back to those 80-degree temperatures.
Wow, Parker, it looks like some great weather for us this weekend. Let's just hope the government doesn't shut down.
Oh, I hope not.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crosswords Today. Join Karina, Don, Mac, and Zach today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.